that's it. It's early March and I'm taking stock of what I have left for my stored vegetables from last season. These are my potatoes. It's all I have left, and that's okay because they're starting to, they're still firm and lovely, but I'm in putting them in this box and making sure that I don't have any that have gone rotten. They're starting to chit here. Well, this is an early potato. This is a red Norland, so I'm surprised it's still here, and it's a little soft. It's the only one I have. These are still firm and lovely. But I just remove all the chits because they're just sucking energy out of the last potatoes that I have. There's another one. And making sure, as I say, there's none rotten. I didn't find a single rotten one. And this is all that's left. I only grow enough potatoes for my family of 3 to get me sort of to this stage. This is March. I don't expect my potatoes, which I store indoors, to be that great that much longer. So it's still a lot of eating here. We don't focus on eating potatoes by any means, so I'll try to get through these now. It's a time when I take stock that I also realize how much of what have I got left and what am I going to make with it. The joy of cooking with your own food. So I will concentrate maybe on a few potato dishes to get these up and gone. And I'm going to now pull out everything that's in my freezer. I have to take stock there. It's been getting down. I've really been plowing through it. We've been enjoying the vegetables that have grown since, well, it's early July I start storing vegetables, and that could be my garlic scapes, or that could be some of the onions. I get early onions, multiplier onions, things like that. But so that goes back 7 months that the stored food is. So I'm going to bring it all out and show you what I have now as of March. I'm probably going to make a big mess here, but I think it's great to see you know, what we can store, what we can accomplish by growing our vegetables and storing. So I'm going to bring out the freezer food that's stored, my frozen vegetables. I need to take stock of them anyways, clean up my freezer. I always make sure I get to the bottom of my freezer before the next season I start pulling in again. I don't like waste in any way, shape, or form of any food. So it's just part of it, so I'm going to show you it. So all that's left in my 2 freezers, this is it for the tomatoes. I've really been going through those, and this is good. I've got also some tomato sauces that are frozen in like containers. This is the berries. I still have quite a few, but the strawberries we've completely gone through. That's it, I've realized. And red currants a bit. Lots of partridge berries and lots of blueberries left. So that's great because we use them in smoothies, and I can go through a lot very quickly, and have gone. But we get gallons and gallons and gallons of blueberries from our backyard, really. Now, okay, here we have broad beans. I'm surprised I have this many because I've made a lot with them. So I'll get a move on continuing to eat those. Leeks. Yeah, I'll get through those pretty quickly. I just need to, you know, for a leek and potato soup, I'd use a bag this size probably. And for other soups and stews and meals. Then a lot of greens. Now, I have to state that these are vegetables we don't mind being frozen. They still taste great from frozen. So that's all that I concentrate on, as you might concentrate on something else. Like I think I found a bean here, but I really don't like frozen beans. There. Yeah, there's a few frozen beans there. I'll find something to throw them in, but we just don't enjoy the flavor of frozen beans or canned vegetables, actually. So I've got a lot of greens, and that's kale and chard, different types of kale. Got a lot of chard, but I make great soups from that. This is it for peas. Now I can go to the store and buy some peas, but we love our frozen peas, and that's it. So maybe next year I'll try for a bit more. I've got a few frozen beets left. I've come to realize they work okay frozen too. I have a lot of garlic scapes, so that means I'm going to throw those into some, there they are, chopped up, so stews, soups. I'll start adding those a bit more. But on the whole, I'm pleased with where I stand with my frozen vegetables and berries and getting through those. Now it's very slim pickings in my refrigerator crisper. That's to be expected. This is all the carrots I have left, all the little rutabaga left. Drew some artichokes. I do have a lot more of those. That's it for my beets in the fridge, and the last cabbage in the fridge. Well, we've been eating our way definitely through the freezer. They were stuffed, they're getting down, and it's good to take stock. I do enjoy freezing certain vegetables. It's easy, and I can do it as I harvest throughout the entire season. Now here in front of me are my dry storage vegetables. And they're a little bit more work sometimes because I am harvesting these usually all at once. My potatoes, my garlic, my onions. So let's see. Well, garlic I harvest the end of August. Onions, I start harvesting early because I've got many types. But definitely these main crop storage ones are the end of September. And the potatoes are towards about the end of September too for the final crops. Squash is October, if I can get away with it, if there's no frost coming. And I've got some dried beans there. All my beans in my freezer, and I had a lot because I do enjoy them, and as I get older, I'm concentrating more, I think, for my diet on getting more of the legumes. So I don't have any more of those in the freezer. Note to self to try to get a bit more in there for next season. So I've shown you the potatoes and how I'm going to work my way through those now. The garlic looks like I still have an awful lot, and I do, but I use an awful lot in cooking, and I've got a long way to go till August of the harvest of what's growing out in the garden right now. So this will do me. I need 200 cloves, or heads rather, and that gets me through, and I know that year after year. Onions have done really well this year. They will get me through also till my earlier onions. Some of them are, well, I've got my walking onions, I've got perennials, but also my bunching onions start coming very early. I plant them as soon as the soil can be worked, those onions, and these a little later. Squash, I've only had, I can't remember how many I had. It wasn't a great year for squash. These are all perfectly fit to store for a lot longer. They go for a year. So I've just been ignoring them really. I haven't needed to eat them. The odd one, I've maybe had 6 squash so far. Usually roasted with a roast dinner. I haven't made a squash soup. I didn't have quite enough to do that. And then there's things that, other things that have run out. I have a little bit of parsnip left, but my parsnips, I just didn't grow enough of those last year. My seeds were old. It was a mistake. We all make mistakes. They didn't come. I've mentioned that I don't store in my pantry a lot of vegetables. We don't eat pickled vegetables. I have some pickled beans. They're still there, but I don't even think I'll do it next year because we're just not eating them. Pickled beets is something we do eat, and I can't grow enough of those for what we do eat actually, so I buy those from a local farmer. Still got lots of jars of those. And jams, if I want a jam now and then I'll make it at the time. It only takes me a moment to make up some jam. But the rest of the berries we use in smoothies and in desserts, like blueberry cakes and pies and things like that. Or infused vodka. I used my currants, my red and black currants for that. So beans, I don't have any more left, but I have a few more dried beans left in these jars here, and I'm working on those now. This large jar, I've just eaten, I think I had 2 meals out of white beans that were in a jar this size. They're gone. And this one's almost gone. And just a few more other left. So they'll still get me through because I will focus on some of the other vegetables. I know that I now have to work my way through to make sure that I've used them all up. So potatoes may replace some beans now. We've been eating a lot of beans. But it's wonderful to assess and take note of how are things storing. Onions, always I'm checking those right away, actually, very early on, within a month of storage of onions. I will always find the odd ones that I can feel going softer. I just didn't cure those enough, or they had a double onion inside. Those ones, I find them very early. Or maybe the stem was just, it was just a larger one and I didn't dry the stem enough or something like that. But I make an onion soup. These ones are 5 months, possibly 6 months storage, and they're still perfect. So I continually check, but pretty good that those will last me through till the next season also. So I think I'm doing really well in my quest for growing enough vegetables to get me from season to season, growing for a year. And I have to note, of course, that throughout the entire growing season, as early as 1st of July, I'm starting with peas, and at the end of July, well, I've got my lettuces are all in, and the beans, and we eat those seasonally, fresh, straight from the garden. Nothing beats it. And we gorge on those. So this is just the storage vegetables, not to take away from the glory days of our fresh vegetables in the garden. So what do you enjoy storing? What's your favorite harvest that gets you from year to year in our quests for that? I started with garlic. Knowing how important it was for my cooking, I wanted to see, and knowing it grows well in the Merritt in Atlantic Canada, I thought I'm going to give those a go to see if I can grow those to last me a year. That was the first ones in sustainability. Then it was onions, and so on and so on. And each year I'm able to, I'm happy to say that I'm getting more and more and more. Start small, focus on one vegetable, and then just expand as you can. Well, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. We'll see you soon, and remember to subscribe.